Hi there, this is the story of Mara Holdings, ticker symbol MARA. Right now the market cap is about 5.8 billion and the price $15.72. It went up from $3, if you can believe that, in just a few years, and this is a great performance. Now the most important question is if you can have again this great performance, or at least a double from this level. And the answer, you will find it in this box. During this video, open the box and you'll find the answer here, whether Mara is a great investment or not. Now, to understand this answer, you also have to look at their business, what they do and what they have, what is their value. So if you look at the revenue over the last 3 years, it has increased quite nicely, from 100 million to 300 to 600 million. Then, if you look at their earnings, yes, a loss over or close to 700 million in 2022, but then they reported a profit over 261 million, over 500 million in 2024. And if you look at their earnings and compare it to revenue, you can see here high profit margins. Amazing. Of course, you also have to understand how they report their earnings. And to do that, you have to ask how do they make money. And the major stream of the revenue is from mining Bitcoin. So the entire value of this company depends on Bitcoin, especially the value of Bitcoin, the price. Now, of course, they make money from other things, but as I said, the main thing is Bitcoin mining. Then if you search more, you also see that they offer hosting services. This means they offer their data centers to other third-party miners to mine Bitcoin. This is good, especially when the price of Bitcoin goes down, because they can continue their operations, maintain their data centers. They don't have to reduce the supply. Then they also offer lending services. They lend their Bitcoin holdings and they sell energy. What they have in excess, they sell that energy. But this represents just a small portion of the entire revenue. So the main thing is Bitcoin mining, and they also started to mine other cryptocurrencies such as Casper for AI. Now, the real value of this company, because if you look at their market cap 5.8 billion and revenue, yes, you might say it's the same, close to the valuation. But if you also look at their balance sheet, look at digital assets here, they have 5.3 billion there in digital assets. Of course, 1.6 billion of these digital assets are in receivables. They have to get those assets. But still, look at their digital assets, 5.3 billion, with the current market cap 5.8 billion, it's closed. You might say that this is a bargain. Plus, they also have some cash, plus investments, 486 million, and if you add them up, it's even more. Now, you also have to look at their debt, which now is about 2.6 billion, and when you subtract their debt from all their assets, the net value is about 3.1 billion. And now you compare the final value, 3.1 billion, with the current market cap, 5.8 billion, you see that it's not that undervalued. So how can you make a profit with this company? The net value is less than the current market cap. Well, this company can grow more in the future only if the price of Bitcoin keeps going up. If you have another double from this level, you can also have a double in Mara, or even more, especially if they mine more Bitcoin right now, the value can get even higher. Because, as you probably know, this company not only depends on Bitcoin price, but also on periodic halvings, which is expected to occur every 4 years. This means this reduces the rewards for mining Bitcoin. And here's the thing. there is a cap on mining Bitcoin, which is about 21 million. After they reach this limit, those miners, they can no longer mine new blocks of Bitcoin. And right now the circulation is 19.8 million Bitcoins. So they are closed. After they reach this limit, according to their theory, after they reach this limit, they will start competing for blocks. This means Bitcoin should go higher and higher, but it also depends on the demand. If people still use Bitcoin as a store of value and for transaction, so they will compete for blocks and they will earn money from transaction fees. Now, here you also have to understand this is just theory. It's nothing you can rely on. If you believe in this, then it's that the cap has the limit. The Bitcoin price should go higher. But of course, it also depends on demand. If there is no demand for Bitcoin, the demand goes down, that will affect the price. But if the demand goes higher for Bitcoin and you have a cap on those coins, then the price is likely to go even higher. But as I said, this is just theory, what they say about this. Now, Mara depends on the Bitcoin price, this period halving, because they'll get less rewards. And then after they reach this cap, they have to become more efficient because they will start competing with others. For the moment, it seems that Mara is quite efficient, but the competition will intensify. You have to be aware of that. Another risk about this company is the number of shares. And here I don't like it at all. Not only depend on the Bitcoin price, but also on the number of shares they issue. If you look at the number of shares over the last 3 years, it has increased from 110 to 170 to 380. And more recently, if you look at diluted shares, 440. So this is quite bad because it's like you own a piece of this company, but over time, as they issue more shares, this means they bring more shareholders, your value increases more shares they issue. So if you have 50% right now, and they double the number of shares, you have 25%. And so on. So we have to be very aware of this risk called dilution. This is the highest risk with those companies, dilution. Now, you also have the risk of debt, of course, but as they have some assets, they can cover it. But the main two risks are dilution, which is likely to continue in the future, and the Bitcoin price. If the price of Bitcoin goes down, this is likely to happen because this is the market volatile. If the price of Bitcoin goes down, that will be a disaster for the entire industry, Bitcoin mining industry. And if you buy right now at the highest peak, you might have a surprise. For instance, if Bitcoin price declines by 50%, for sure the price will go down 50%. The market cap can reach 3 billion or 2 billion. And be aware, understand their earnings. They reported 500 million in their earnings. But most of those profits came from the change in value, the change in the value of their digital assets. When Bitcoin goes up by 10%, imagine 5.3 billion goes up 10%. And they report that as a profit. And that's why you see their earnings so high compared to their revenue. But the reverse can happen. If Bitcoin goes down by 10%, they report a loss here. And if you exclude those changes in the valuation of their digital assets, you will see that the earnings aren't that high, are minus. So you have to be very careful with those companies. Yes, you can make money as long as Bitcoin goes up. And the increase in the price of Bitcoin is higher than the increase in the number of shares. Because if the increase in the number of shares is higher than the increase in the stock price, you still lose money. Be aware of those two things. Compare the increase in the number of shares. If it's 20%, and the increase in the Bitcoin price is 30%, yes, you make money, 10%. But if you have 50% increase in the number of shares and the increase in the Bitcoin price is only 40%, you are losing 20%. So be aware of this. Be aware of this. And to open the box and show you the answer, whether Mara is a great investment or not, you can see it here. No, it's not a great investment because the risk is way, way too high. And from this level, you have to ask how much can Bitcoin grow in the future. And yes, if you focus only on the reward, yes, you may have another double from this level. But why would I take this huge risk from dilution, a possible decline in the Bitcoin price, when I can simply invest in my own businesses that can deliver me a far greater return than Mara with low risk? If you go to my channel, please join, choose Titan Investor, you have access to my portfolio, where we can find great investment ideas. And on top of that, you also have access to an investing course, other in-depth analysis, and bonus, a stock prediction challenge. If you can predict the increase in percentages, the stock price of Mara, the next 40 days, for instance, Mara will increase by 20% in 40 days, and your prediction comes true, get all my money from Titan members. So this is the best deal you can ever get. So if you want to stop losing money and increase your returns, join my membership. And if you have other questions about Mara, please let me know in the comments.